Welcome back, everybody. We've got round two here for you. We've got Billy Comminos, Ben Weinberg, and Adam Olds versus Joe Birkenhauer, Robert Meadows, and Max Rumker. And we've got some spicy ones for you today. Billy
What do you mean?
is playing.
I got Spooky Boys.
Billy is playing four-color Haakon. Scott, it is Haakon. Haakon.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce that.
That's how I was told you're supposed to.
Just like Worcester. I mean,
Yeah.
Worcester.
I would pronounce it Haakon, but I've been told that it's supposed to be Haakon. And then he is playing
Spooky
Bant
Boys.
Spirits. It looks like four-color. It might be three.
Probably.
Four. Is it all five? No, no blue.
I don't see no blue in that deck.
Billy's is four-color, no blue.
Weinberg is going to crush Robert. Is that who's paired?
Yeah, so it's for Weinberg versus Robert.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it is them. It's Mono Red Phoenix versus Bring the Light Scapeshift.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be very close.
No. I would imagine not.
Especially the mono red deck getting access to Blood Moons.
I am pretty interested to see how this Haakon deck performs. Billy's team is going to be playing 3 different Haakon lists next weekend for SCG Columbus. So this is a little preview, a little test run for it. But yeah, to give a little bit more of an overlay of what Billy's deck does, because just saying Haakon doesn't really explain too much. Looks like a modern version of lands, essentially. It plays 4 Life from the Loams.
It's Dredge Knights.
3 Molten Vortex. A bunch of Knights that he can play from the graveyard. Knight of Autumn, Knight of the Reliquary, and Haakon. Because Haakon allows you to play Knights from your graveyard, but nowhere else. If you could go ahead and pull Haakon up on screen, Scott, that would be great. Or maybe just in Twitch chat. Or, yeah, if you could just do the Twitch chat card name. Just so people can read it. It's Haakon, Stromgold, Scourge.
Stromgold, not Storm.
Yeah, so you can play Knights from your graveyard. So you can play Haakon, Knight of the Autumn, and Knight of Autumn, and Knight of the Reliquary from his graveyard, as well as Nameless Inversion, because that is a tribal shapeshifter instant. So this will definitely be an
2
interesting
mana.
match.
We got Life from the Loam. I like this already. This is great.
Yeah, Billy's got a slow start, but I mean this is what his deck wants to do.
Max, double
This is something
checking
like
what
a lock.
Life does, or Loam does.
And Max kind of has the ideal start from Bant as well. Noble Hierarch's just what you want to lead on. Well, Aethervial I think is ideal.
Any one drop is just great.
Yeah,
I mean,
just having a 1-drop.
yeah. Taking 2 life. Pass turn. I don't have nothing. No Spell Queller. I actually don't think he's got Spell Queller. I think he's gonna.
Looks like he has a Supreme Phantom.
I think it's gonna be Supreme Phantom attack for 1. I don't know.
Oh, you got a
Drog
Skull.
Skull. Okay. So if Billy can play Liliana here, nope, that's a Shambling Vent. Does he have Nameless Inversion? No, Assassin's Trophy.
So when do you like casting this Assassin's Trophy? Do you like casting it on your main phase and their upkeep? Probably in the main phase so it doesn't get spell colored, right?
Yeah, you don't want him to untap. You can kind of think of Spirits as a deck with counter spells in a sense. And you don't want anything. You don't want your the Hexproof Lord. What's his name again?
Drogskull Captain. You don't want that to get copied or have another one come out or something.
You don't want that one to, you know. Yeah, like, yeah, for Billy, you just can't have that one. Really kind enough to play with the Marsh Flats open. That is in his hand for those that are curious.
Attacking for 1. Get him.
I mean, he's got the mana for Galactic Company no matter what, right?
I'm surprised not to see Billy Loam. Was he looking for anything in particular? Maybe like a Molten Vortex? That'd be pretty good for him. He would be able to use that to start picking stuff off. He needs some more red
I think
mana.
he's got plenty of lands. I think he's just kind of looking for stuff to do. And
So I'd imagine
like
he
the
gained
knights,
4 life.
I'll say yeah, the knights aren't particularly good in this matchup.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to try and like dredge to Haakon.
That's fair. That makes sense. What's it gonna be? Let's spin that wheel. You know, that's the best part about Collected Company. You never know what you're gonna get.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 creatures, typically under the mana cost of 3.
Yep. I mean, haven't you ever heard the saying, "Life is like a Collected Company"? You never know what you're gonna get.
No, I'm pretty sure that's a box of chocolates.
I think you got it wrong.
That's how Forrest Gump said it in the movie, probably at least once.
It's fine. He's allowed to be wrong. He's Forrest Gump. But it looks like he got a Supreme Phantom and a Geist of Saint Traft.
You know, no big.
I don't really know how Billy answers a Geist.
He doesn't.
The only way that I can really see it, well, he can block. It's a pretty good way to do it. Or he can clear the rest of the board and then use the Liliana. But I think his best way is just to block.
He has main deck Damnation, 2 of them.
Okay. So yeah, that's definitely an out he's playing towards. Yeah, Billy's got a lot of 1-ofs.
Yeah, I know. I was just like reading down the list, like, what can he draw here?
He's got 15 1-ofs in his main deck.
Most of them are lands, though, to be fair.
So he decided not to block the Geist? Yeah, that makes sense. It's a 5-power creature.
It's a 4. 5, yeah.
With the Exalted.
Yep. Alright, so Billy's fetching. I guess he did play the March Flats that turn. It was turn 4. That makes sense. Which land are you looking for here? Overground 2?
I'm surprised he's not getting any red source. I mean, Molten Vortex is the only red spell. And he does have, how many Graven Cairns? 2 Graven Cairns, which will help fix his mana for that. But I would think you'd want to get some mana out of red mana.
Graven Cairns. Yeah, that's a card I thought I'd hear in Modern.
Right.
Okay, 3 mana. I'm going to cast Lingering Souls.
Seems pretty good.
Ben's up a game. Adam lost a game. That's about on par for what we would expect, right?
What are Adam and his opponent playing?
I'm not actually sure. Adam's playing Joe Birkenhauer.
Adam's playing Tron.
And Joe Birkenhauer is on good old-fashioned Bant Company.
Okay, so we got Bant Company versus Tron. That's definitely a close one. That seems like one of those matches where if Tron has Tron on turn 3, they're probably going to win. But if Bant Company is able to get out some Ghost Quarters, some Field of Ruins, they definitely have a chance. Yeah, that's fair. He can just get the red when he needs it. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's in no rush. So that's...
I was just thinking that he wanted to get one preemptively, so that way he has enough mana to cast Molten Vortex and activate on the same turn.
So I guess Billy's just jumping for days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just looking to chump until he can assemble a lock, like through a Damnation or just infinite kill spells.
I mean, if you're maxed, you give up the Exalted trigger and just attack with the 2 Supreme Phantoms. It's not like he can really afford to quadruple block one of them.
Right. I mean, he definitely could try. I mean, they're 2/4s, so you'd have to have a Flash Lord to...
So he puts the Knight in front of the
Geist. Yeah.
Takes
yeah, those
4,
seem
5,
like really
6.
good blocks. Yeah, he would take 6 from that.
Go down to 3. Yeah, but then Max only has a Supreme Phantom. And Billy still has 2 Spirits, so that actually seems pretty bad. So... Well, he's going for it. Yeah, I don't... well, I mean, I guess... Max does have the Moorland Haunt down there.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be able to grind. I expect to see the blocks to line up the way the way we talked about. Yep.
That makes sense to us. Billy goes to 3 here.
If there's a path...
An instant speed Lord. obviously going to be terrible, but I don't think the Billy's anywhere near in the position.
Jamoka's Command.
Jamoka's Command also gonna be pretty rough.
So you put the counter on the Geist of St. Draft, right?
You can put the counter on either of the creatures. Doesn't really matter.
I think you put it on Geist so it survives night.
Well, I was just
4/4
saying,
to
like,
a 4/3 right now.
it depends on which one you have fight. Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Well,
then
then it would.
have the Angel fight a token.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like he had the Geist fight a token, so it looks like the Geist is gonna end up dying, if he did have the Geist fight.
I would hope that he'd have some other creature fight it, but you know.
So if he did have the Geist fight, which is what the hand gestures look like, it should be dead. I don't know if you were able to hear that at all, Scott, but.
Billy draws Damnation? No, Stomping Ground. Well, let's go ahead and shock that into play.
Okay, Billy's dead.
Yep. I'm guessing he had something else fight.
Okay.
Alright, so Max and Robert are up the game? No, Ben's up the game there. So Max.
This is
and
Max.
Joe
No, it's Joe. Joe
are
and
up
Ben
a
are up a
game.
game. Joe, yeah, Max and Joe are up a game versus Ben being up a game.
Yeah, the Bant deck's too good.
Yeah.
Well, what was Adam playing this time?
Adam's playing Tron.
Tron?
Yeah. He's playing Mono Green Tron.
Yeah, when I was playing Bant Company, I didn't hate the Tron matchup.
Yeah.
With Bant Company, so.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones where it's just like if they have Tron on 3, they'll probably win. But if they stumble,
Yeah,
probably
you
get there.
should be able to. And, you know, Night Reliquary goes a long way to interact with them.
Alright, so out of Billy's sideboard, the relevant cards I see here are Comminos and Engineered Explosives. Collective Brutality is kind of iffy. I think that's fine. Kills like an early Noble Hierarch or gets a Collected Company out of the hand.
I mean, Collective Brutality is pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Bring it in always. Don't.
The other options for him are Leyline of the Void, Ancient Grudge, Ray of Revelation, Raven's Crime, Slaughter Games, and Knight of the Reliquary. And I don't really think any of those are for this matchup.
So we're going to see Engineered, we're going to see Knight, Collective Brutality,
And Comminos.
and Kalidas.
Yep, makes sense.
I can agree with that. What are we taking out on Billy's side? Knight of Autumn seemed pretty bad.
Yeah, Knight of Autumns don't seem great. Molten Vortex plan might be too slow, as well as the Raven's Crime plan.
I think Raven's Crime plan is actually fine. Like,
Yeah.
If you, especially on the play. I think if I'm on Billy's side, like I trim like Liliana the Veil, or maybe he's got a land, one of his utility lands he can trim.
Yeah, that's fair. He's
Third, the third Molten Voltex, you could probably trim down to 2 as well.
Yeah, I feel like for Billy it's going to be a lot of trimming, not a lot of just like straight up cutting. So what's the other guy got going on?
So
Max.
Max here's got 3 Rest in Peace, which I'd imagine is going to be pretty good here.
Yeah.
3 Stony Sounds, which doesn't do anything. 2 Night of Autumns, which probably won't do anything. 2 Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, which I think are going to be pretty good in this matchup. 1 Eidolon Heretic, which doesn't do anything. 1 Disdainful Stroke, doesn't do anything. Detention Sphere, which probably isn't bad. 1 Settle the Wreckage, which, I'm not too big on bringing it in here.
Right.
And
You
then
wouldn't
1
be the
Path
beatdown.
to Exile. Path could come in. Depends if Max actually knows what Billy's doing. He didn't
Yeah.
actually see Haakon at all, or Haakon, whatever you want to call him.
So what I would bring in here if I was Max, from what I've seen, would be the Thalias and the Rest in Pieces, and I'd leave the rest of my sideboard.
Yep, I can agree with that. Taking out on Max's side, I don't think he wants Reflector Mage. There didn't seem to be too many relevant creatures, so that's 2 of your 5 cards. Kira, I think you can probably get away with Kira and Rattle Chains. Those seem like to be pretty ambiguous cards. And the Geist was very good in that one, but I don't actually think it's good in the matchup.
Yeah, it just gets blocked really easily.
Yeah, deck with Lingering Souls, it's hard to actually want Geist to Saint Draft.
Yeah. Yeah, this is yet another deck that loses the Blood Moon from Billy. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's all of them. Pretty sure any deck that Billy picks up is just going to lose the Blood Moon.
Yeah, I mean, if you build a deck that can't play through the hate cards that exist for it, like why even really try to play it then?
Yeah.
Or, you don't like, you don't have a plan to beat Rest in Peace, and you're dredging your deck into your graveyard.
Yeah, Billy's answers to a Rest in Peace in the main are just Assassin's Trophies. In post-board, it looks like the only one that he's probably going to bring in is Engineer Explosives. He does have Ray of Revelation, but I don't know if you bring that in the dark.
So if you can Blood Moon Dredge before they get a green source, or a basic green source, I can attest that it makes the game far more difficult for them.
Yeah.
But Cathartic Green and Faithless and Conflagrate are all still very powerful cards.
Yeah, I think they can just play. I think they can play the game well enough with a Moon out that it's probably not worth bringing in. But you can definitely catch them off without being able to cast like their
it
Life
does.
from the Loam
I
is,
say
like, the
it does
biggest
shut
piece.
off Life from the Conflagrate. Like it just has to take natural draws to get up to the number for Conflagrate, which is far worse.
I mean, Moon plus one of the exile graveyard effects like Rest in Peace seem pretty good together, because Blood Moon shuts off their access to blowing up enchantments.
So what I'm hearing is we should find the white-red prison guy.
Yeah. Do some Rest in Peace in the Blood Moon, and I don't know how Dredge beats that. Unless they have
a lot of
their
decks
one
beat
basic
that.
forest. I don't know how Billy's deck beats that.
He finds basic planes.
Probably by
Ray
playing.
of Revelation.
Probably by playing prettier basics than his opponent.
But Daisy Planes is whatever, man. Collector Brutality. Oh, God, look at all the value. Get a collector company. Hit it all. Yes, he got it.
Nice. Oh, that's a Kira?
Here's a Kira. He did leave the Kira in. I didn't actually think he would, but you can understand. That's a Rest in Peace that's going to come down next turn, though.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
pretty
going to be a little
unfortunate.
brutal.
Collective Brutality, unfortunately, cannot take that.
Nope, it is not actually duress.
Yeah, that makes sense, Jason, that you'd want to bring in Ray of Revelation. I was just thinking that with the Assassin's Trophies and the Engineer Explosives, you feel like you have enough answers to have something that isn't specifically for enchantments, but if you need it, you need it.
Good on Max to announce his trigger. The ETB.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trigger that's mostly just assumed, but...
So Word Dog, it's a Life from the Loam deck that plays... so the idea is to dredge a bunch of cards into your library and then play Haakon, which is a knight, like a 3/3 for 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that lets you play other knights from the graveyard and grind your opponent out.
So it lets you play other knights like Now the Reliquary from your graveyard, as well as Nameless Inversion. And the other things you use your graveyard for, like he's got Life from the Loam, he's got Raven's Crime, he's got Molten Vortex. It is a slow, grindy deck that is just looking to grind your opponent out.
Yep.
Pretty similar to Maverick and Legacy if you're experienced in that.
Ooh.
Looks like he's ghost quartering himself.
Interesting. He ghost quartered his planes. I mean, I guess he doesn't want to hit the Golgari.
Needed
Adam
a
and
black
Joe
source.
into game 3. Yeah, we know the glare is a bit obnoxious. Well, we're trying to come up with a good way to do something about it, but it's a little difficult. Liliana's very good versus Spirits deck.
For sure. Most of their creatures die to it. And if they don't die to it, Liliana can just shrink them.
Yep. Fortunately, Kira and Droxel Captain both survive.
Yeah.
And then once you play one Droxel Captain, they all just kind of spiral, right?
Yeah, in between this next round, I'm going to talk to the owner of the store and see if we can do that. Because this would definitely look a lot better without the glare.
I think there's too many people in the room to pull out the bulbs. To, like, get a ladder set up in there.
Yeah.
But maybe if there's a coat or something, we can hang over by the glass right there. Alright. I mean, if Max doesn't do anything, I'd say Nameless Inversion took down...
Yeah, it was Liliana plus Nameless inversion that was able to answer the Kira.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Get Kira out of there.
Liliana was able to break the bubble.
So it looks like Billy's going for the Lily ult. Is his game plan?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a pretty real strategy.
She gets there fast. Like, it's a bit surprising for a Planeswalker. They know that ult at 7. Just kind of catches you off guard sometimes.
And it's not like Max has a way to get it off the board besides attacking it. Oh yeah, Billy has some pretty beautiful basics. He gets all the Apex he can get his hands on.
Yeah, so he goes out of his way to find pretty basics.
Yeah, he isn't playing islands in this deck, but he does have the boat islands, if you know which ones I'm referring to.
I don't. Aether Vial? Aether Vial. Alright. Billy has done a pretty good job of controlling the game on 2 mana.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he has another removal spell here, like the Lily's just
He's
already 2 turns away from
the land. I think that's an Assassin's Trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, so another Lord's not going to come down. That's going to matter at least.
Right.
Ben just jammed a Blood Moon. It looks like Blood Moon came down against the 4-color Scape Shift opponent. So
seems pretty good.
That's another Lord. Did the Lord resolve?
It did. So I guess it's not an Assassin's Trophy?
No. Billy's going to have to find a land.
He's going to have to find a couple of them. Because now the Liliana can't even shrink those Drog Skulls.
He passed without even upticking Liliana. He realized a little too late.
Yeah, Billy's just getting frustrated.
Yeah. He can't find land in his 27 land deck. Right. 4, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 24 land deck. I mean, that happens, right? The more lands you put in your deck, the less you
Oh, so it was an Assassin's Trophy, and he's going to Assassin's Trophy himself to get a basic.
He can't.
Oh, you cannot. Okay, yeah, that is... if you want to go ahead and pause the match, Scott, that is something that can't happen. So
yeah. It says opponent.
So
he was going to target Rest in Peace, I'm guessing.
So the players are going to try to resolve it themselves, but a judge should probably get involved. Looks like they're going to reverse here.
I believe Billy's just changing his target to Rest in Peace, which is a legal target.
Which makes sense.
And then it's at that point where Max gets to decide if he wants to spell Queller now.
Yeah, he's just waiting whether or not he cares about this.
Yeah, I'll say it kind of sucks because now he's giving away information that the
Spell Queller's there.
Spell Queller is there.
Yeah.
So it makes this Damnation and Billy's hand real awkward. He said he's going to go ahead and do it.
No, this tourney is competitive REL.
Yeah, there are real prizes on the line. Say we should have had him stop, but whatever. They went back. They found a way to fix it themselves. In a tournament that is competitive RDL, you should always call a judge, though, in situations like this. Or like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Draw another Damnation. Look at his hand. So pretty. All his 4 drops.
That's rough.
Land, dead.
Billy was just never finding another land.
Yep. Sad day.
Okay. Well, are any of the other matches able to be switched over, or are they all in the middle of games?
I feel like they're all in the middle of the game.
Because we unfortunately do not have a way to move the camera system.